Please call the roll.
Trustee Deteen. Trustee Frierson.
Here.
Trustee McKinney.
Here.
Trustee McDowell.
Here.
Chairman Neal.
Here. Agenda changes. For agenda changes, I would like to remove item number 8 to be presented at the November meeting. There was some things that we need to discuss and clarify before we bring that up. Do we need a motion to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Frierson.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held September 20th, 2016 at 6:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Second, any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Frierson.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Aye. Are there any citizens' comments tonight? I would like to call up Kim Whiteside, who is asked to present tonight. She is in year 2 of Zion Benton Leadership Academy, and to graduate from year 2, you have to do a 5-minute presentation on Zion Benton Leadership Academy, and she asked to do that during citizens' comments tonight. So come on up, Kim.
Thank you. My name is Kim Whiteside, and I completed first year ZBLA last year, and after I do this 5 minutes, I'm finished with second year ZBLA. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. I started doing it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was a little bit of what I thought it was going to be about leadership, learning how to be a leader. But what I learned more than anything is the governance and leadership in Zion. I learned that I would learn how boards work, the boards of directors and all the different organizations in Zion. We have the village, city government, we have school districts, we have township government, we have Chamber of Commerce, public library, we have Sunrise Rotary Club, we have the Lions Club, Kiwanis, Zion Exchange, Women's Club. There is so much in Zion that I did not know existed. I was, when I first started, a resident of Zion. I've been for a good while. I moved back here in 2000. I was one of them people that sat in my house and complained about Zion, about the taxes, and about this, and about that. And I'm like, I don't want to live here. This is a piece of crap. I didn't, talking from just hearing little rumors here and there and not knowing a thing about Zion. And when Amy Onan asked me, would I go through Zion Benton Leadership Academy, I had no idea what it was, and I went through the first year. My eyes opened a lot there. I learned a lot about leadership. I learned what was in the community. I learned just from the outside, just from people coming in and talking and telling us about what was going on. In the second year, it was a whole different ball game. I had to do this without classroom. I had to do it on my own, and I've never been to college. I had to do this, and it was like really hard. I started doing it. I met with, last year it was Diana Gornick was my mentor last year, and she was amazing. She walked with me through the whole first year. This year was Randy with Purple Durple. I don't even know his last name. Purple Durple is his last name, I guess. He's been amazing with me on the second year. He's just helped me to do it like I guess a college person would do it. They give us this agenda, and we have to go through it. I had to meet with him for 4 times, and I had to do a governance report. I had to go to 3 governance meetings, 4. I had to do 4. Some of them were okay, some of them were so boring. When I first started, I thought maybe I'll become mayor one day, but you know what? I found out the mayor has to sit on all these boards and councils. I'm straight. I'm not gonna do it. It's not for me, but I really respect the mayor and all of y'all for what you do in the community. Let's see. I would like to read a little bit of something that I took away. It's my governance reflection that I had to write, and this really touched my heart and opened my eyes more than anything. It starts with my journey with governance began with the city council meeting of Zion. This meeting was amazing. My eyes opened that night to a whole new world. How our city operates, how decisions are made, and who makes them. We do have a voice. I learned that if we sit home and complain about how terrible everything in our town is and not open our mouth via city council meetings, then yes, nothing will change. I witnessed that night firsthand how we, the people of Zion, have a voice. The night I attended, there was an organization there fighting to sell and relocate. The council was against this change, as you could see in their faces. This organization got up and spoke from their heart, one by one. The transformation that occurred on the faces and in the hearts of most of the council members and the mayor was phenomenal. They turned the hearts of the council from a stern no to a big yes, and then it was approved. This brought tears to the eyes of many in the room that night, including my own. Mayor Hill was amazing in the way he conducted the meeting and then how he explained to everyone in layman's terms what was happening concerning our taxes and other issues. Can you believe that? A little bit of insight I received that night helped me to understand and accept more of why taxes are like they are right now in Zion. Knowledge is power. Another night I attended was also very rewarding as I was able to see an outstanding young gentleman, Richard, get sworn in as a council member. It was beautiful with his family there along with the man who he was replacing that was retiring his seat. This event again touched the hearts of the people. What I took away these 2 nights was more understanding of the heartbeat of our great city. I now know that I do not want to be that person sitting and complaining with my neighbors, but to get up and be a part of the solution, go to the meetings and voice my concerns. In conclusion to my reflection on governance, I would like to say again that knowledge is power. I have learned that I do have a voice in my community. I do have resources available to me and that the children are truly cared for, and that coming from going to the school board meeting. I didn't understand a lot of that, but I know their heart was in the right places. Also see that the government agencies cannot do it alone. They need the help and support of the residents so that the plans and goals will succeed. But how will they know? How will they know what is out there? I myself would not have known had it not been for my 2nd year of ZBLA. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Kim or anything?
I don't have any questions, but I mean, I just want to say, it's a great job, Kim. I mean, going through ZBLA with you and seeing just the transformation from, a year ago, I mean, it's phenomenal. And just kudos. I know she's one of a few that have actually done year 2, so my hat really goes off to you, so good job.
Yeah, great job. I also want to thank Brandy Wickstrom and Diana for being willing to step up as mentors. Without the mentorship in the program for ZBLA, it wouldn't be the success that it is. Mentorship with people that truly have no agenda, they just really care about the person and want to help them succeed is such a powerful testimony in our community that people are willing to say yes. And every year we have at least 12 participants in year 1 and then anybody that's willing to do year 2. And without the mentorship, it wouldn't be as substantial. So thank you very much, both of you, for your dedication to the community and raising up new leaders. So thank you. Okay. You can breathe now, Kim. I would, the letter that you wrote would be an incredible letter to the editor for the ZB News. So, just as an idea. Moving forward, going on to item 6, authorize bills for payment. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? I did meet over the phone with Lloyd Deteen. He is out sick, but he looked over everything and so.
There was one question I had about
Yes.
the operating expenses for youth program, youth
Yes.
services.
Yes, I had the same question.
Does that just carry over into next year, or?
And so specifically, what's your question again?
So the remaining budget
Gotcha. So,
seems high, being that we're already through the summer work program.
yeah, so some of the operating expenses, we get the t-shirts and the different things at the beginning of the year. We purchased those in April to have them ready for the program. So some of the items that we do, we actually do prior to the season starting.
Okay. Cool. I think that was it.
Yes, so, okay. Any other questions? Is there a motion to accept? Oh, we already did that. We started that. Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ryerson.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Aye. Item number 7, consider appointment of Shakura Keys as Township FOIA Officer per Chairman Neal. Shakura came in as the business manager of Zion Township, and Diane Burkemper is one of the FOIA officers, but we need to have one inside the office also to get that information, so.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Ryerson.
Aye.
Trustee McKinney.
Aye.
Trustee McDowell.
Aye.
Chairman Neal.
Aye. Number 9, Assessors Report.
Okay, just a couple quick things, kind of wrapping up the 2016 appeals. We had 565 appeals this year, which is down a little bit from last year. We have about 60 appeals left, so that's about 2 days of hearings. It seemed like everything went really good this year. We didn't lose that much value. There's only a couple parcels, of commercial parcels, that we lost a lot of value. So it looks like next year that the values will probably go up about 6 to 8%, which is really good. That means the value of your home is going to go up 6 to 8%. It does not mean that your taxes are going to go up 6 or 8%. So things are actually looking kind of bright as far as the home value. So as long as we keep the tax rate down and the values go up, things should work out. And that's about it.
Thank you. Assessor Wickets. Any questions for Larry?
So do you have any suggestions for citizens in terms of trying to ensure that their taxes don't go up by that same amount?
Oh, I have a great suggestion. I think that the citizens should be attending all the board members or all the board meetings that they can. And as we all know in this room, 70% to 75% of your tax dollars are going to the schools. So if I was a Mr. Citizen, I would be attending the school board meetings to make sure that they're keeping their budgets where they should be, just like the city has and just like the township has.
Thank you.
Larry, would you suggest also if property values go up 6 to 8%, the taxing bodies consider reducing their levy a similar amount?
I don't think, again, this is just my opinion, if they hold them where they were the prior year, then obviously the tax rate is going to go down. They have to go down because they're only allowed to levy for so much more from the prior year. So if everybody kept their levy where they were the prior year, we would see a good reduction in the tax rate.
Thank you.
One question on that. So is that limitation based on dollar amount or is that based on percentage?
It's
As
a
far as
percentage.
it's a percentage, right?
It's
Based on
the
the
CPI.
Right, not, okay.
Well, and just keeping one thing in mind in defense of the schools, the state is supposed to be paying the other half of the bill, and they're not paying. So they're in a really precarious situation across the board that they're mandated to educate the kids, and they don't know where the money's coming from. So I
We
would
could-
hate to be on this school board.
We could sit here and we could discuss the budgets and the schools for hours. I still think that there's room for the schools to hold their budgets where they are.
Well, thank you very much. All right, anything else? Okay. Item 10, Supervisors Report. The first item on my report is the monthly. I share with you guys every month the monthly report that's attached. And last month I asked if you could just take a few minutes and look it over. We really want to be intentional with the report that we give you guys every month. And I'm curious if there's numbers that mean nothing to you. There's some things that you're not interested in. One of the things that the page is full of information, but like in the summer, we have summer work program, and the North Shore Gas and ComEd Share the Warmth. Those two are both only in the winter when we have the heat. So it's not, you know, the entire report isn't always fully
Right.
informationized, if that's the right word. I just made it up, so it is to me. But,
I did have a list of questions. Unfortunately, I didn't bring them with me tonight,
Okay.
coming straight from
Okay.
work. But a lot of it just kind of spoke to my lack of understanding of what happens underneath a lot of these services. So
good.
I will make sure I'm prepared with those next meeting.
Excellent.
Sherry, would you say that this report represents the bulk of what the township does?
Yes.
Then I would say it's necessary to compile this information. And I certainly find it valuable. And it would help me if one of our constituents asks, well, what does the township do? I can easily pull this out and give an outline of what the township does. So I find it helpful.
Okay, good. And we put this on the website every month with the minutes from the meeting and all. So if anybody ever has a question about it, we would love to have any citizen go on the website, look at it, and then call us and say, what is this? One of the things that we had talked about doing was just doing a cover sheet explaining each of the items, not that we would have every month, but just as a, little explanation of each of the things, so.
One question I did recall, because I know the numbers seem to kind of fluctuate based on the number of cases that come in. So do you guys go out and do tablings? I know you're kind of limited in terms of staff.
What's a tabling?
Where you're almost recruiting for people to come in and more or less advertising and marketing the services that the township provides.
We do. We actually, there's an event that the school district has every year, a parent event that we go to.
Okay.
Job fairs. Mother's Trust has a huge resource fair, so we market to the school social workers.
Okay.
We work very closely with the school social workers in a lot of cases to make sure that they know that the resources are available.
Okay. All right.
If you know of any events where we could do more, that is the biggest problem. There's 4 of us total. And it's really important that we're in the office during operating hours, and so if somebody works an event on a Saturday, then they get to take time off during the week, which kills us for the actual.
Right.
So that's why I'm usually at everything, so.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So that said, to update you on the rest of my report, Harris Policy Labs update. They're requesting a lot of different information from the city, Benton Township and Zion Township. We have sent them everything. We're waiting on the IMRF report from IMRF to send them. And then Benton Township and the city of Zion are working on their items. And then I also shared with you, I just cut and pasted an email that was sent to me as to the plan. It says objective to assess the fiscal impact of consolidating Zion Township under 4 different scenarios, including the tax revenues and level of service provision under each. So keep in mind that the 4 different opportunities are: 1, everything stays the same; 2, we just unplug the township; 3, we combine with the city of Zion; or 4, we combine with Benton Township. So those are the 4 scenarios that this study that Harris Policy Labs through the University of Chicago is studying for us. So what they say is, we will shoot to meet again the last week of October to give you a report and presentation on initial findings, which will be submitted to you at least 24 hours ahead of time or according to your preference. This initial assessment will consist of an analysis of the logistical changes needed to fulfill each of the 4 scenarios, including potential areas for cost savings. We will also attempt to completely quantify the monetary costs and benefits of a single scenario. Number 2, at an undetermined time, we will meet with or conduct a call. We're asking that they meet with Zion and Benton Township and city staff, possibly including but not limited to the township supervisors, the assessors, and the mayor. Number 3, we will have our final product and presentation to you by the last week in November or first week in December. This will include a quantification of the costs and benefits of all scenarios, as well as a detailing of the legal steps necessary to implement. Please let us know if you have any clarifications. So that's kind of the outline of this study that we're working on. Just to make it clear, nothing like this has ever taken place. There's never been a study like this on consolidation in the state of Illinois. Harris Policy Labs has not done a study on consolidation. They have done a lot of other studies in government, but not this specifically. So they were really excited to have a community that wants to look at this to see how that works. So hopefully by the next meeting, I had asked them if they could come tonight to both of our meetings, and it was too short a notice, so they're looking at maybe a November meeting to be able to come. So, moving on, LAHEAP applications, Community Action Partnership is responsible to process these applications, and it's for energy assistance for individuals who are low income. And I'm proud to say that with 4 of us in the office, since September 1st, we have been able to process 122 applications on behalf of Community Action Partnership, bringing $30,755 in assistance to seniors, disabled, and those with children under the age of 5. Case manager Adriana Ortiz and I visited Zion Senior Cottages, Bethesda Village, and Carmel House to assist in processing their applications. And we're doing walk-in applications every Wednesday from 2 until 4 o'clock. So if you need anything else from the township, don't come then, because it's crazy with LAHEAP applications. But we're really proud of the system that we've been able to create to try and help as many residents as possible, because there's only so much money. And so it's our goal to help as many residents as we can before the money runs out. So beginning November 1st, any low-income resident, you don't have to have a child under the age of 5, be disabled, or a senior in order to get that assistance. So. Moving forward, Shakura, the business manager, and I were invited to Barton Senior Residence to register voters. Thanks to one resident who would not let it go. She was tenacious and was determined, and so we came in and we were able to register 27 people, including Sadie Watts. I don't know how many of you know Sadie Watts, but she was MIA. I had no idea where she went. And her phone number's been disconnected for a very long time, and she wasn't at the house. And I didn't have Phyllis, her daughter's number. And I was registering somebody to vote, and I see her walk by the door. And Sadie Watts started a food pantry. Juanita, you know well. She started a food pantry in her entryway of her house to help families. And she is a legacy in this community beyond legacies. So she is at Barton Senior residence, and I will be going back to visit her. So I was really blessed twice over by that. So yeah, so if anybody's been looking for Sadie, she's at Barton. So I found her, and her 98th birthday is on October 26th. So yeah, just as a reminder. So on Thursday, October 27th in the morning, Zion Township will be closed. The Charm Foundation is doing a training on dynamic leadership that I am taking my entire team to help us move forward with how we're wanting to lead in the community with helping residents. So moving on, the next Human Services Committee will be on Tuesday, November 1st from 2:30 until 4. One of the things that we just completed today that the group asked us to do was we created a one page with the different agencies that are located in Zion. There's a lot of agencies that provide services to Zion, but there's 8 organizations that are invested in Zion. One of them being Abiding Love Food Pantry, Pastor Fielding, that we really wanted to be able to share with residents the agencies that are invested in our community. So we created that, and we'll be sharing that with the group at our next meeting. So they were excited about that. So, moving forward, Top Box, for those of you who do not know, it's a wholesale opportunity to purchase food. The next one is on Wednesday, November 9th at Shiloh Center from 12:30 until 2 p.m. We had Kim present this evening, and to let everybody know that on Sunday, November 6th at 3 p.m. at Shepherd's Crook, we have the graduation of our Year 1 participants and our Year 2 participants. So we are excited about it. Trustee Frierson has been at the lead this year doing all of the curriculum for Zion Benton Leadership Academy. That is no small feat as a volunteer project, and the group is really, thank you, been dynamic. So we've gotten a lot of really great feedback. I'm excited about that. So any of the commissioners that would like to, or trustees that would like to attend the graduation, we would love to have you there. Today, we had the Illinois Secretary of State Super Senior Program at the library. And I just want to give a shout out to the partnerships between the library and the Secretary of State to be able to bring that every year. They do the Rules of the Road class. There was a pretty full room this morning. And then they do driver's license renewal and state ID renewal. They don't do the driving test, so that's the only thing that they can't do. But it was a huge benefit to a lot of people, so appreciate that. Next, ELF Network is underway. social workers from District 1 and District 6, which is Zion Elementary District and Beach Park District 6, and then Zion Benton Township High School, are connecting with families that are in need of a blessing over Christmas. And there's an organization called Santa's Helpers that provides gifts and food baskets. They do the packing at 6:30 a.m. down in Chicago at St. Mary of the Angels Church. And we have been blessed the last 2 years that the youth group from Christ Community Church, led by Leo Barnes, goes down and helps to pack the gifts up. And that's been a really, that was really fun last year. So, and then Tuesday morning, the organization packs the food and then they deliver all of the gifts to Christ Community Church. And then on Thursday, December 15th, there will be a 3-course meal for all the families, and they will be able to pick up the gifts that night. A couple other things that are going on, families that are in need of coats and gloves, Love Inc. will be providing those. And then Adriana Ortiz in our office is meeting with every single family to find out what are the barriers that are going on, what are some of the things that keep tripping you up, and how can we support you in overcoming those barriers. Additionally, we're working with Community Action Partnership to do a class, and I always forget the name of it, how to take control of your finances for all of the participants. And it's a really dynamic class to help people realize that they have more control than they ever knew. You think that you know, how do you manage something you don't have, and then you realize, wow, I had more than I realized I did. To be able to manage it, it helps to grow it. So we're really excited about that. And just to say, you know, when we first got started with this, our goal was just that organizations could serve as many families as possible. And Mike, we've been at the table talking about this for years. How do we evolve this into an opportunity to really help families climb out of the hole? And I'm really proud of where we've gone with this and where it's moving to. So I just want to thank Christ Community Church for your help with that, as well as the other organizations. But having a local church be the hub of it, you know, it allowed the township to be able to focus on what we do instead of the gifts. So thank you.
I just think an important key is developing relationships with people in the community. To rub shoulders with people that you don't normally see or you don't normally come in contact with, I think that's very important. And that's why I want to have a dinner, so that we can bring people together.
Right. Well, and in connection with that, Adriana being able to change, and instead of it just being a quick appointment, you know, being able to sit with them, and that she got the list of questions that she asked from Love Inc. So it's more of a relational building. What are your strengths? What are some of the things you wanted to do? Have you considered doing it? So it's pretty magic. So thank you very much for that. Cruising through a couple more things. The corporate community spelling bee that supports the Coalition for Healthy Communities is coming up on November 3rd. They're still looking for teams. It's $300 for a team, and the funds go to support all of the different things that the Coalition for Healthy Communities does, including Zion Benton Leadership Academy and Community Character. I'm going to be doing a training for the Alliance for Human Services of Lake County on Friday, November 4th, entitled The Empowerment Dynamic. There's information on that. And just a reminder, Mano a Mano is in the community, and if you catch somebody doing something well, living in character, bust them out, take a picture, send the information to the email address. It's on our report, zbcharacterclub@gmail.com, so that we can take the opportunity to shine a light on them. Mona from the ZB News, on a regular basis, whenever any of those come through, she makes it a point to put those stories in the paper for us. So, shine a light. So that's all I got. Is there anything else to come before the board? None. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Frierson?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.